Hey, we've gotten a little thrown off with some snow days. So, today we were picking up from where their drawings left off about their life with unlimited or the most power and money in the land. And today I introduced God's concept of a king that was very different than the worldly concept of a king. If you remember those like czars, dictators, pharaohs, and such are people that literally have all the money and power in their nation at their disposal. So God's idea of a king like that is very different than what you typically see. And in Deuteronomy 17, we talked through today how God's king would be an Israelite and would be chosen by God, that the people would pick the one that God picked. It wasn't a voting process or a democracy. And then we talked about how this king had rules that he couldn't, or he had things that he wasn't allowed to do, which is very different than most monarchs where they are the law. God's king would be under God's authority. The things he could not do, he was not supposed to amass war power, women, and wealth for himself, and he wasn't supposed to let his people go back to Egypt where they were enslaved, so that they would remain free. This amassing for yourself, it doesn't say the specific things that they were not, or like the amounts they were to have or not, but the principle was, is it just consuming for yourself, or is he going to be living for others? So the last thing was positive commands that the king was supposed to fulfill. When he came out on his throne, he was supposed to copy down the first 5 books of the Bible in his own handwriting. The priest would check it to make sure that it was correct, and then the king was supposed to have it on his person all the time, and he was supposed to read that copy of the Bible every single day. That process together, copying it down in his own handwriting, having it with him, and reading it every day would keep him from turning away from any part of that law. It would counteract the powerful draw that he would experience in wanting the wealth, women, and more power. That would be normal, or even going to Egypt, that would be so popular. God's law is like an anchor that would keep him steady, orbiting around the Lord instead of orbiting around himself, which would be the natural inclination. And that's basically where we left off today, and we'll pick up again tomorrow.